everybody. I am Dr. S. Sachidanand, former Vice Chancellor of Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences. It's a very great pride and proud to be a teacher and par excellence, and also a teacher with being a doctor as well. It's a dual role that I have enacted in my life. I feel proud to be both as a teacher and a doctor. Hailing from a teacher's family, and probably that was there in my blood, and I also chose to be a teacher. Initially, I started my life as an assistant surgeon in the Department of Health and Family Welfare, but then later on, the passion for teaching prevailed upon me, and I became a teacher in Bangalore Medical College. True to its essence, the teaching profession was the essence of my life, and I liked it to the core. So, being a teacher was one thing, and secondly, being a medical teacher was second thing, because being a doctor as well is also a combination of two noble professions. So with these two professions merged into one, I thoroughly enjoyed my life and journey as a teacher and a doctor. I wish all of you a happy Teachers' Day on the occasion of Dr. S. Radhakrishnan's birthday on 5th September 2025. A teacher would be incomplete without his students. I cherish the interactions, the way in which we dealt with each other, and the way in which I learned from students while teaching as well. Because teaching profession is a profession where one constantly keeps upgrading himself and then tries to teach to his students as well. And also learn from his students. A teacher should have an open mind to learn from his students as well. And that's what I did. I enjoyed thoroughly reading and then reproducing it to the students, making them understand in a very simpler way, and also try to learn in the journey of teaching as well. So that made me a complete teacher as well. So that opportunity I got, I'm really grateful to God to have given me the opportunity to be a teacher and a doctor as well. So my students are my assets. If you ask me, I have a large number of undergraduate students who have been taught by me, and of course a few hundred postgraduate students, and I have guided around 15-20 postgraduate students as well, and a number of PhD students. So this is a very fulfilling life. And at the same time, I also have around 100 to 150 fellowship students who have graduated from me, that is after their post-graduation. So this is my journey as a teacher right from beginning. It started somewhere in 1985 when I passed out my diploma in dermatology, and then I had to do MD after 5 years of the diploma degree, because I became a in-service candidate, and in 1994 I completed my postgraduate degree in dermatology. So having completed that, then I joined Bangalore Medical College, and that was my karma bhumi. I spent almost 35 years of my life in Bangalore Medical College as a teacher, as an organizer, as a researcher, as an academician, and as an administrator. So I planned my life in such a way that I have to achieve something in life. I have to contribute something to the specialty which I have chosen. Back in those days when we did our post-graduation, dermatology was not a much sought after postgraduate subject. However, I chose dermatology because of its visual field of diagnosis and treatment, exciting and very curious way of diagnosing things. So that attracted me, and I chose that life. So I started my journey in Bangalore Medical College. Initially, I thought I should make a mark. People should start noticing me and my work, and that's the reason I got into association. So I took up the secretaryship of this particular association. Then to get noticed, I started organizing conference, and we started bidding for the national conference of IADVL, and that happened in 2000. As luck would favor, I got the permission to organize this Millennium Conference at the turn of the century in the year 2000 in Bangalore itself. So that was the turning point in my life. It was called as Derma Vision Beyond 2000, and it was one of the conference of its kind, which is even today it's being talked about. And that launched me onto the national scenario and gave me the opportunity to become the organizing secretary of this conference. And also from there, I went on to become the Honorary Secretary of the National Indian Association of Dermatologists, Venereologists and Leprologists. I did this job to the perfection for about 4 years, built up the association brick by brick. 4 years was very fruitful years. I worked under 4 illustrious senior dermatologists, Dr. Rajababu, Dr. A.K. Bajaj, Dr. Rui Fernandez and Dr. V.P. Kuriev. All of them imbibed in me the sense of integrity, sense of honesty, dedication to work and passion to whatever you would choose to do. You be very passionate. So all these things I learned from each one of them, and it's my point at this point to remember them. At the same time, I would also like to remember Dr. R. Shivkumar, who was the professor and HOD during my post-graduation at Mysore Medical College, and also Dr. Kuchbal, Dr. Sidramappa, Dr. Manjunath Swami and Dr. A.S. Pandit. So these are the individuals I would like to remember and recollect. At the same time, I also had very illustrious colleagues as my postgraduate fellows. I would like to recollect the names of Dr. Mysore Venkatram, Dr. H. Hanmantappa, Dr. M.S. Somsundar, then Dr. Sharat Kumar and Dr. Keloji Hanmantaya and many others. These are all friends who shaped my career as well. During 2007, I contested for the election for the national body as a president-elect, and I got elected as national president at a very young age of 46 years. So this was one phase of my life where I joined the organization, grew as an organizer, then organized many conferences. Later on, I started doing research, and that was the time when many CRO companies used to come to India to conduct research, and dermatology was also a very hotly pursued subject for conducting research, drug trials. I am happy to say that I conducted a drug trial way back in 2000 and 2001, and this particular drug trial was audited by US FDA, and I'm proud to say that I was the first Indian doctor to be audited by US FDA and also come out with flying colors. It was about a molecule called tigecycline. I must have conducted around 25 to 30 drug trials and also clinical trials in dermatology. So my second phase of life was a researcher. Then I started my journey as an academician. So I took up publications and also writing books. And that was the time when we started. My first book was with Dr. Mysore Venkatram. It was a book for undergraduate students about dermatology. And then later on with Dr. Arun Inamdar, we did a book on pediatric dermatology. Then Dr. Krupa Shankar, we had a management scoring index in dermatology with Krupa Shankar, and management issues with Dr. Banu Prakash. And many such varied topics were chosen. And I'm proud to say till today, I have written about 15 books. The peak of this editorship is the publications of 4th and 5th volumes of IADL textbook of dermatology. So that is the major achievements as a chief editor. The 2 volumes of IADL textbook of dermatology is my achievement. Apart from this academics, I enjoyed the journey being a teacher. I should not forget to mention that I used to love teaching, especially bedside clinics. So my clinic rounds used to be longer, and interaction with students was the highlight of my teachership. And where students used to come prepared, I also used to be prepared, and we used to discuss clinical scenarios, differential diagnosis, management of cases and things like that. So, and also documenting those cases and utilize it for publications and in textbooks. The final phase, I thought I should contribute something to dermatology, because having taken up this this subject, I thought I should be of some use to the society and the subject, so that the subject also grows. All this was possible because I had good students who responded to my call, students who were very interactive, and today my students have become heads of the departments at various medical colleges across India. During my journey, I also had the opportunity to get many awards. I'm the only dermatologist who have organized 3 national conferences. To sum up, I have conducted more than 30 conferences on my own, and written about 15 books, started about 6 fellowship courses, and guided not less than 200 students. The last phase of my life, the crown in the jewel, is me being an administrator. My role as an administrator, God gave me the opportunity to become the Registrar Evaluation or Controller of Examiner for Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences. The Government of Karnataka was opening up many medical colleges across the state, and I had the opportunity to open at least 9 medical colleges during my tenure, and also that catapulted me to the post of Vice Chancellor of Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, during which time, 3 years' time, I could achieve many things. I could bring in more transparency in the examination system in RGHS, and God sent opportunity was my involvement during the COVID times. I was the Vice Chancellor of RGHS during COVID time, during which time we never closed down the university. We worked, we functioned as normally as any other day, and there was a time when I was also the chairman of the task force, and that also I could manage very well. To sum up everything, I'm a very satisfied man. So with now being a retired person, I continue to be involved in dermatology by practicing during my free time. I practice, I see patients, I try to help them out and resolve their dermatological problems. And apart from that, I also have some social activities which I keep trying to keep myself busy. I help people poor and needy people, and I'm grateful for God for having given me this opportunity in my life. Thank you so much. I take pride in wishing a happy Teachers' Day to one and all, to all those teachers who are passionate about teaching, to all those doctors who are passionate about treating patients, and to all my students who shaped my future and made me a complete teacher and a doctor as well. Thank you one and all for all your happy Teachers' Day.
We have a saying in Kannada, Tumbid Koda. A metaphor for that is our Sachi sir. So I'm fortunate to have Sachi sir as my teacher, and I have worked under sir for 4 years as a postgraduate and a fellow in cosmetic dermatology. We are fortunate to work under him, a department which was like a family, and to recollect a few incidences like how sir is a great teacher. I would like to share one small incident. Even now I keep recalling that whenever I face some situations. So it was a day when sir had got a filler from a conference from abroad and handed it over to us, the cosmetology fellows, and told us to use it. So it's a government hospital, so we did not find any patient for filler. So we were waiting. One fine day, sir gets another patient and says, okay, do filler for her. So this happens to be a patient who is a celebrity actually, who was a celebrity probably, because she was a winner of a popular television reality show. So I used to follow her on television, and sir said, do the filler for her. She was asking for lip filler, and we had never done it. We were all scared, and I was even more so because I was following the celebrity on television and I am seeing her in front of her. So sir said, take all the precautions and do the filler. We were doing for the first time. Sir, we have never done it. Sir said, go ahead, take precautions and do it. So it was for the first time. Sir told us to do it, and believe it or not, we did the filler. It came out beautifully, and we were like, sir is giving us that confidence and the trust. And because sir believed in our abilities, we started believing in ourselves. So it was a moment when we realized, okay, we got to do the first step. I always think whenever I do a new procedure, it is like, okay, take all the precautions and go ahead and do it. Not to get scared. When there is a guru behind, why to get scared? Even today, he is the guiding path. So whenever we are in trouble, we call Sachi sir and ask for his ideas. Even now, whenever we want to do something, we know that he is there to guide us. So such a great teacher he is, who inspires, who asks us to go ahead and do things. So, sir, we are blessed to have you as our teacher and mentor. May you continue to inspire many more students like me, and many students are yet to be benefited from you. So may God bless you with great health and happiness, and thank you for being a great teacher. Happy Teachers' Day today and every day. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. I wish you a very happy Teachers' Day. It was my privilege to be your student, and I have learned not only the dermatology but also the lessons of life from you. I bow my head with gratitude for all the encouragement you have given and mentoring me and encouraging me to do my best, and also lending the helping hand when I was in need. At this juncture, I pray Almighty to give you and your family good health and all the happiness, and it is my pleasure and I'll be glad to serve you whenever you come to Mangalore. Thank you for everything, sir.
Hi, I am Dr. Raghunath Reddy, a dermatologist from Bangalore. It's my pleasure to say a few words about my teacher, Dr. S. Sachidanand sir. We fondly call him as Sachi sir. I first met him as a postgraduate student in Bangalore Medical College Department of Dermatology in 1999, March. And it was a God-sent personality for me, Dr. Sachidanand sir. He was not just a very good teacher, he was very sincere, he was very honest, even in treating patients, examining patients, and every day we used to be with him from morning till evening. And apart from dermatology, what we have learned from him, we have learned everything else, how a human being should be, his simplicity, his honesty, his politeness, being always cool, saying yes to everything. Apart from this, we also have learned a lot of administrative things like working for associations at various levels, doing conferences, and then most important thing is that he has a lot of positive influence on me. He himself used to say that Raghu was a firebrand dermatologist and I have made him a branded dermatologist. Yes, it is true. I was very angry young man those days, but not with any bad or wrong intention. But his teachings, his presence, his influence has shaped me to become a better human being with a lot of positive influence. I owe a lot to him of what I am today as a personality, as a dermatologist, as a teacher, and also working for IIDVL and doing conferences. Thank you, sir. God give you very good health, happy, many years to come, and continue to guide us, and we seek your blessings. Wish you a happy Teachers' Day. Thank you, sir.
Hello, I am Dr. Savita A.S. On this Teachers' Day, I want to express my deepest gratitude to my teacher, Dr. Sachidanand sir. Sir, you are not just my teacher, you have been my guide, a mentor, and a beacon of inspiration for me. Your unwavering belief in your students, your ability to identify potential, encourage us, and the pride which you always take in our accomplishments has shaped what I am today. I consider myself incredibly fortunate to have studied under you during my undergraduation as well as my post-graduation days. The impact you have made on my professional life is profound. Our postgraduate days were the best days. You guided us throughout, encouraged us to send abstracts, attend conferences, and we all had a nice time there. So having you as a mentor, all I strive to achieve is at least a part of what you have done. You always made sure that I have the support what I need. You encouraged me to write chapters, then publish books, and one of the greatest achievements of myself, what I consider today, is having my name on the cover of IADVL. So it's all because of you. Thank you for everything. Your impact on my life is immeasurable, and I'm forever grateful for having had this chance to be your student. Happy Teachers' Day, sir. Thank you.
A good teaching is just not about imparting knowledge. It is also about inspiring a change. A good education can uplift anyone, but only a good teacher can bring about a positive change in every aspect of a human's life. And I have been fortunate to have been one among the hundreds and thousands of Sachi Sir students, and I would say doubly fortunate because Sachi Sir has been both my undergraduate and postgraduate teacher. Sir is just not a wonderful teacher, but he's also a wonderful human being, a guide and mentor, as I said, to hundreds and thousands of students, and each of these hundreds and thousands of students will attest to this fact. I was into reading Bhagavad Gita since a young age, and when I met and started moving along with Sir, I realized he was a person who follows the ideals of Bhagavad Gita. He puts his best effort in every work that he does, and he's never attached to the result. Whether it's a positive outcome or an outcome which is not up to the mark, he just does his best and moves on to the next work. Sir has always inspired every one of his students, and not only that, he brings in team effort and uplifts everybody. He once told me, Dinesh, only when people around you are uplifted can you get uplifted by them. So he always used to encourage that we work hard, and also we ensure that our colleagues, our friends, and everybody in our circle also put in the same effort and also are provided avenues for their development. Thank you, sir, for being our teacher, for being a mentor for us, for being a guide for us, and for being a pillar of support for us in all our student days and also in our professional lives. Wishing you a very long life filled with all joy, health, cheer, and goodwill. Thanks a lot, sir.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Nagesh, dermatologist from Bangalore. I'm a student of Dr. S. Sachidanand, sir. So today I would like to speak a few words on the occasion of this Teachers' Day about the Professor and Head Dr. Sachidanand, sir. So he has been a great teacher and a great influence on all his students. So the honesty, the simplicity, his calmness is something which we need to imbibe and learn from him, and it's also difficult. And the way he encourages the students to take up projects, do various things. So he makes sure as a teacher that his students grow, not only in the professional life, even anything you go to him, he'll always be there to help you. So he has always been there. Any decisions I have to take, even after completing my post-graduation, whenever I have to have any issue or take any decisions with my college, department-wise, or any other activities, scientific activities, whenever I go to him, he's always there to guide me and help me. I wish you a very happy Teachers' Day, sir. Thanks a lot for all the guidance and help. I wish you good health and happiness for many more years. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you.
Namaste. I'm very humbled to speak about my teacher, the dynamic, ever-encouraging Dr. S. Sachidanand, sir. I'm very lucky to be mentored by Sir during my PG days. Sir was my thesis guide, and he has helped me in sculpting me to this stature. Whatever I have known from senior dermatologists, I have known that Sachi Sir was a very avid reader and a very hard-working postgraduate student in his PG days. So that strong academic foundation, what Sir has in him, has sculpted numerous flourishing and thriving dermatologists in India and across the world also. Sir's ability to remain calm in all situations, the equanimity what Sir has is unparalleled. The meticulous approach for organizing events from departmental level to national conference level makes him stand out in the crowd. There's been encouraging and the guiding force for many of my accomplishments. I truly feel very blessed to be your student, sir. My utmost regards to you. Happy Teachers' Day, sir. Namaste.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sanjana, Professor and Head, Department of Dermatology, BGS GIMS. I would take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to my beloved teacher, Dr. Sachidanand sir, who very lovingly we call him as Dr. Sachi sir. Uh, I was very lucky to have worked under him and studied at various stages of my medical career. I was an intern when Sachidanand sir was HOD at Victoria Hospital, Department of Dermatology. Then he was my examiner when I was a final year postgraduate for the preliminary exam, preparatory exams which is conducted at BMC. And I did my 1 year fellowship also in aesthetic dermatology when Sachidanand sir was a HOD in BMC. I always look up to him as a role model, be it academic activities, clinical dermatology, and wherever aesthetic or administrative, everything, he's played a very major role in my medical career and influenced me in a lot of ways. Now, as a president of Bangalore Dermatological Society, I'm very humbled and to work under his leadership as a vice president of Bangalore Dermatological Society. I'm wishing you a very, very happy Teachers' Day, sir, and I wish you a lot of good health and continue to strive your energy, your love, compassion towards your patients and your dear students. And I wish you a very healthy and long serving career. Extremely grateful and honored for me talking to you in this platform. Thank you very much.